Democrats know they're in for an ass whooping. The left did not listen to the Dave Rubins of years ago. They did not listen to the Bill Maher's. They didn't listen to the Joe Rogans. They didn't listen to any of the people that were going, guys, enough is enough of this. And they went completely crazy. We got to crush you in the elections tomorrow. And then you guys have to honestly come crawling back. So Wednesday morning after the red wave, that is what's going to happen.
Is it? Is that what's going to happen? Dave Rubin's brain, has not been handling these high-level important ideas very well lately or ever. He wasn't just wildly wrong about the overall trend. He made a lot of really, really bad predictions about specific candidates as well. Let's take a look at that.
I'm very bullish on something like 54 in terms of the Senate for Republicans. I really am. I really think Zeldin is going to win in New York. That's the one that I think is the big one, okay? It is almost beyond imagination that Fetterman could win, okay? So I think Oz will win there. I have a lot of hope for Oz because I feel like he's sort of cut from my cloth. I do think Blake Masters is gonna win in Arizona as well as Kari Lake. Kari Lake, who I think of all of the people is sort of the real lock out of these guys. I suspect Tudor Dixon is gonna take down Gretchen Whitmer after all the COVID lockdown insanity.
Nevada, what's the guy's last name?
Laxalt.
Let's say he wins it. Let's say
he was DeSantis's roommate in college. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
See you later. Her reign of terror is almost over. I'm telling you, she's got a chance to lose this election. She really does. I would say you could go back to my track record. My track record is pretty solid. I think I've basically gotten stuff right over the last couple of years. These people get everything wrong and then they get invited back.
Yes. Let's go back to his track record. Let's do a recap of Dave Rubin's 2022 midterm election predictions. He thought Lee Zeldin would win. Wrong. He thought Kari Lake would win. Wrong. Republicans to get 54 Senate seats. Definitely wrong. Democrats will keep control of the Senate. He thought Blake Masters would win. He didn't. Tina Forte did not win. Tudor Dixon did not win. Dr. Oz, who apparently is cut from the same cloth as Dave Rubin, also did not win. Just a quick commentary on that. I mean, Dr. Oz likes to follow the money, and so does Dave Rubin. So the fact that they're cut from the same cloth might be the only accurate statement you heard from Dave Rubin in those videos. Laxalt was supposed to win according to Dave Rubin. By the way, did you know that he was DeSantis's roommate in college?
Whoa.
But no. Whoa. But no, did not win. And then DeSantis is the only prediction he had that was like, I mean, I don't think anyone should brag about predicting that DeSantis would win.
That was super obvious, yeah. So
yeah.
So first of all, he said, "Oh, I think AOC is going down. AOC, you later." Okay, do you know how much she won by? She won by 43 points. This close, Dave. This close.
It was a close one.
So we filled out brackets here because we have a ton of fun whenever there's election night. Come here, we had the audience fill out brackets. We had a blast, right? I think John might have gotten them all right, which is amazing. John Idarola hosts Damage Report. I'll get back to you guys on that. But if it wasn't all right, it was almost all right. I got 2 wrong, so I went about a little bit better than 80%. And the 2 I got wrong were Kari Lake, which was super close, and I thought Cortez Masto, the Democratic nominee in Nevada, would lose. That was also super close, but she pulled it out. So I'm thrilled. But you see, Dave, what you do is you're supposed to make predictions based on who you think you're gonna win. So for example, I thought DeSantis was gonna win. That doesn't mean I like DeSantis. I said Kari Lake was gonna win. I don't like Kari Lake, but he doesn't, he's like, all the people I don't like are gonna lose. All the people I like are gonna win. That's my political analysis.
High level important ideas, Cenk. High level. I mean, the problem with Dave is I think that the dial of ideas at the moment has been turned to cold. And he's got to move it to the hot position. You know?
It's definitely not in the hot position. That's for sure.
Okay. Believe it or not, there's more.
Oh, thanks God.
Following the I know, it's so good. We all needed this. We all needed this break. Following the midterms, a very defeated and dejected Dave Rubin tried to do some damage control by blaming others. Let's watch.
Yes, without question, the massive red wave that so many predicted did not happen. I kept saying all along, while I think it is going to happen, you never know what is going to happen, and you cannot count your chickens before they hatch. And clearly there was some chickens being counted before they were hatched by the mainstream punditry. The Pennsylvania situation, obviously, first off, their voting situation is very bizarre. They had a ton of early mail-in ballots. Maybe we just have to accept that 40%, I mean, I was sort of pulling that number out of thin air, but that X amount of people are always going to vote Democrat no matter what. A certain amount of people are brainwashed.
Certain amount of people are brainwashed, yeah. You know, the fact that they didn't buy that, Republicans pretended to be concerned about inflation, but had absolutely no solutions to combat inflation. They were brainwashed into not wanting to vote for that. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, look at the stuff he says with a straight face. I didn't know this, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but a certain amount of people are always going to vote Democrat. You don't say, Dave. That is some cogent analysis. Did you know that a certain amount of people are also going to always vote Republican? These are 11 on a scale of hot ideas, okay? Of course, we've seen in elections, yes, you've got a voting bloc that largely votes Democrat every time. You got a voting bloc that largely votes Republican all the time, and then you try to compete for the people that are kind of in the middle, and you try to peel off some of the voters on the different ends of the spectrum for those two different parties. Like, this is like the most elementary politics of all time. And then if we're talking about brainwashing, are you kidding me? Nobody brainwashes better than the right wingers. You don't want higher wages. You don't want free health care. No, you want to hate trans people. You don't want to say gay in school, right? And even if you're in Florida and you're gay, like Dave Rubin, don't have your kids talk about their gay parents. Don't. But your wages, your health care, your paid family leave, etc. Ignore that stuff. I mean, that's all the right wing does is brainwashing. If the right wing didn't have brainwashing, they'd get 0 votes. Who the hell wants lower wages and not to have free healthcare like every other developed nation has? Of course, their ideas are miserable. Now they're talking about cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. I mean, we had Matt Gaetz on the show right afterwards. He couldn't wait to cut Medicaid. That was the first thing that he said when we said policy, right? Yeah, your ideas suck. That's why the right wing has to rely exclusively on brainwashing and exclusively on cultural wars. Otherwise, they'd never win a single election.
It is amazing how easily people like Dave Rubin fail upward, right? And how Dave Rubin is a case study for the myth of meritocracy in America. He really is.
Yeah.
Like, dude's living it up in mansions. He's living his best life. He might be, and I'm not exaggerating, in terms of people who don't have like mental disabilities or anything like that, he might be the dumbest person on the planet. Like, I'm not kidding.
I thought you were going to say in media, but you went planet, on the planet.
No,
okay.
Planet, because look, here's the thing, Cenk. Regular people who have other jobs not related to media or politics, they're just trying to make ends meet. They've got other things going on. I'm sure the thing is, most people are well informed on the field they're working in. This is what Dave Rubin does for a living. Okay, so like, we're not talking about a plumber who doesn't know the ins and outs of politics in America.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who gets paid millions of dollars to share his analysis on politics. But in reality, I mean, he ended up accomplishing what his first goal was: comedy. It's just that we're laughing at him, not with him.
Yeah, 100%. But Anna, that's the ironic thing. So why would these right-wing benefactors, because it's not the audience, he has almost no audience, it's just giant, really wealthy right-wing millionaires and billionaires pay him to do this news analysis when he doesn't know anything about politics? Because they're not paying for analysis, they're paying for brainwashing. They're paying for propaganda. I mean, that's the great irony here. So guys, think about it. Look at what he just said. Like, he thought AOC was gonna lose. There was no chance of that. If you know anything about politics, she won by 43. There was a 0% chance, right? And then he's like, well, it turns out a certain percentage of people always vote Democrat. It's like a mechanic being like, it turns out there's a gas pedal and brakes in the car. Would you go to that mechanic?
Who knew healthcare would be so complicated?
I mean, that's Donald Trump. The guy, he kissed the ass of all these years. Last thing, guys, look about that honesty, right? So when we get things right, we have fun with it and we brag about it, but we tell you there's a reason why we're telling you so you can learn politics and get it right yourself. When we get it wrong, we kid around and we tell you about it, but we're honest about it. We say, oh my God, I got that wrong. I did a tweet about how I got the LA mayor's race wrong, etc. There's nothing wrong with admitting when you got the analysis slightly wrong, because then, or maybe a lot wrong in certain instances, because then the audience learns from that too. But do you get honesty from Dave? He came out, you saw the clip, and he's like, oh, I guess people were counting their chickens before they hatched, like the mainstream media pundits. But Dave, you're on tape. We saw you counting chickens going 1, 2, 8, 11, right? On tape, you're on tape. And he makes it seem like he got it right and the mainstream media got it wrong. I mean, there, right there is the dishonesty that you cannot argue with. And that's why they're not doing news, they're doing propaganda.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.